right, we are recording. So we are going to be interviewing our presidential Megan Hazen Benson. Like we needed like a drum roll, so like that was what I did for you.
No, not necessary.
I feel like most people know Megan's story, but I'm gonna have you like do like a short version of it, recap it, and then I've got 4 questions for her. So we're going to go through the questions, and if you guys have any other questions on top of that, go ahead and utilize the chat. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Megan. I keep coughing, so I'm going to mute myself, but I'll kind of chime in where needed. But go ahead and introduce yourself and then share a little bit about your story.
All right, so most of you guys already probably know me, but Megan Hazen here. Some people call me Megan Benson, and y'all are wrong. Just kidding. Don't tell my husband. Actually, he knows. So anyway, I'm from upstate New York. Fell into this wrap business that we're all in 5 years and March, April, May, June, 4 months ago. So I've been in for a long time. Honestly, I got thinking the other day on the couch. I was sitting down and I was like, I literally can't like remember my life before it works. Like, I'm sure if I tried a little bit harder, I could. But like this business has been like in my blood now for so long that literally like I just can't. I don't know. It's weird. You think 5 years of your life, you know? I don't know. Maybe y'all aren't there yet, but
I'm at 5 years in August.
Do you sometimes think that you're like, that is a lot of life that we've spent together so far in this business? Like, it's crazy.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because it's the school year's ending and I think, oh my God, like I was a teacher. Like I was wrapping up my school year. Like, what was that life? What was that life like? And now that we have kids together, it's so different being, you know, home with our kids and doing kind of what we want when we want and, you know, living the it works life.
Yeah, except I do still work. Don't forget about that.
That's true. That's true.
You do what you want all day long. Huh?
I said, but you still kind of do make your own schedule when you want.
Oh, right, yeah. So I joined the business in February of 2013. Kind of didn't really have any expectations, and I definitely didn't think I was going to, you know, go to the top of this company by any means. And honestly, I didn't want to. That wasn't something that like I feel is a realistic goal when you get into network marketing. So for me, we were building a house at the time and I was just we were going broke like super quick building this house too. Like it was we did not budget enough for what we built. So if anybody's ever built a house, once you get to the end, that's when all the expensive stuff is, like your finishings. And well, we didn't realize all that. So this business kind of came at the perfect time. I went to a party as a total skeptic hater. I was like, here to donate my $25. Like I was that total jerk guest. Like, oh, sorry, I'm late. Like had things to do. Donating $25 here. Like I was kind of a snot when it came to this. And I was like, this stuff just does not work. Like a freaking wrap. So I ended up wrapping at the party just to donate my $25. And I actually saw visible results, which was crazy. So, I ended up just kind of, by the end of the party, I was a customer. And at the time, there was something called the Ultimate Pack. I don't think we can buy that anymore. Or it may not be the same, but it was a $279 customer pack. It was the biggest pack that customers could buy at the time. So I went from a total skeptic hater to going all in with the products. But I also spent 3 hours at the party. Like I'm seriously that guest nobody wants. And I spent 3 hours at that party asking my sponsor, Jen Hackett, literally everything I could possibly think of about the compensation plan just to prove her wrong. I was like, yeah, but you can't do this. Or how much do you make on this? Like, you really can't make any money doing that. I was totally that girl. And by the end of it, I was kind of like, this is kind of intriguing, but I still left as just a customer. So I fast forward a couple weeks, I'd been using the greens for a couple days, and what I noticed was it got rid of my migraines. Now, I didn't notice this right off the bat. I noticed it like 3 days later. And I was like, I've not had a migraine in a few days, and I was getting a headache every day at that period of my life. Like migraines and headaches definitely changed my way of life. It affected it majorly. So for me, anything that help that, I was like, well, I don't really want to sell the rest of the stuff, but I just want to give the greens to everybody. So that's kind of how I started this. Is I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna join. So I ended up joining as a distributor, but I never posted on social media for like 2 or 3 weeks because I was instantly embarrassed that I got involved in a pyramid scheme. But what was happening is I was talking to everybody about it face to face, and people were joining me as customers and as distributors. So halfway through February, I was structured for Ruby. I didn't even really realize it, but it just happened, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm in it now. Like, I'm going to work this business. So the first month was kind of like a whirlwind, but what I realized in hindsight is I was talking so much about the products, and I was only talking about a couple of them. Like, I didn't even know what we had, but I was obsessed with the greens. You know, I was even talking good about the wrap, even though I was a total hater on it, because I saw visible results with my wrap results. So that's what kind of like started it. And then I just kind of went all in. I didn't, which is just, if you know me, like everybody questioned me. They're like, is Megan okay? They're like, the Megan I know would never do something like this, right? Like the Megan, like they were constantly like, Megan's doing this? But that, I turned that thought process into, yeah, so even more reason why you should. So what I did is I look back at my social media and I think, how did anybody join me? Does anybody else look at On This Day and they think, really? Like I look at On This Day back in March, because my biggest month for distributors outside of the $9.99 promo was March of 2014. I signed 18 distributors that month. And for me, that was my highest month for distributors. And I would look back in March as the days go by and I'm like, how did I sign anybody? Like my social media was definitely not on point the way that we want it to be today, right? So whatever. So anyway, I just kind of went all in. I didn't have any fears. I didn't have any hesitations. I kind of took this opportunity. I read the comp plan. If you don't know me, I'm very green. And I was like, I really think you could make money doing this. Like, call me crazy, but I really feel like you can make money. Now, I was never naive in thinking you don't have to do anything, right? Like, I was never naive into thinking I just got in at the right time. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to make a ton of money, because that's just not the case. Like, sure, I've been in for a long time, but I constantly am enrolling people. Now, you know, now looking back, there are many months in my past that I've enrolled many more distributors than I enrolled today, but it's something that I still strive for. And honestly, my goals are every month are steps to success. Like, you know, and I feel like that's really, I don't know, I just feel like that's a really good goal to have and a really good goal to duplicate. So that's what I go for. Now, I usually sign way more loyal customers than that, and that's great. But distributors, you know, during the months, I barely usually can complete my steps to success, but I keep thinking to myself, I'm not going to be hard on myself about it, because the steps to success are there for a reason, right? So there's got to be something behind it. So that's my goal every month. It's always been my goal. There's never been a month in this business where I have not enrolled at least 4 customers. Not one month have I ever enrolled less than that. So I'm proud of that. While I can't say the same about distributors, I am really proud of the fact that I'm constantly getting our products in people's hands, because I definitely believe loyal customers are the lifeblood to your business. But so anyway, the 5 years that I've been in, I went Presidential Diamond in 13 months. Was the top 100 earner for 2014 and 2015. 2016, I was top 150. And 2017, not so much, but that's all right. Like, we're just going to wait and see what happens in 2018. Honestly, I wish that they do top 300. I feel like more people deserve recognition anyway. So, and I've definitely heard talks of at least the top 200. So I think that'll be really cool to see what happens, what shifts happen in recognition this year, because I know that's a huge, it's a huge focal point for corporate right now. So we've earned $110,000 in bonuses, and we were paid every dollar of them. So I think that's important to mention sometimes. And yeah, I'm currently going on 7 months of getting my car bonus back too. So I'm pretty excited about that. Mackenzie Cox is coming for me though, so I can't be losing it.
Okay. So I want you to just talk about a little bit of how you built to presidential. Like, what is your number one way that you like really focused and pushed to get your butt to presidential?
I think one of my biggest strengths from the beginning is I didn't start working my business on the 15th to 20th of every month. I can definitely see a trend now that I'm where I am and on more of a leadership level. I can definitely see a trend. There's a cycle that happens every month, especially for people who are pushing month to month. I feel sometimes goals and sometimes deadlines can defeat us, right? Because if we don't do it, then it checks us out for the first 2 weeks of the next month. So the cycle is based on how you ended the month. Like say you're pushing it at the end of the month. There's a promotion. There's someone that you have a friendly competition and they're pushing for something and you're pushing too. Whatever drives you to close out the month. Say you didn't meet that goal. Say you didn't meet that deadline. I see it all the time. I mean, and I run numbers all the time, and you guys would be crazy. You guys would think I'm crazy probably, but seeing the trend in enrollments between the 1st and the 10th, and then the 10th, in the 1st and the 20th, and the 15th to the end of the month, it's crazy. That's where the enrollments come every single month. So the trend is usually you get bummed out, or it's both sides of the spectrum. You promoted, okay? Say you made your goal, then you still take a week off. Like I usually call it the diamond vacation. Like I know, including myself, when we went diamond, we took a vacation. We're like, oh, we pushed so hard for 2 weeks. I'm taking this next week off. I think I actually said that. Actually, I lied. I was actually in Punta Cana, and I refused to get cell service after I went diamond. Like that's the honest truth. So I literally was on the diamond vacation. I made sure to click in by the 20th of April when I went, and then I was like, bye, I'm going to Punta Cana for the rest of the month, and I refused to get Wi-Fi, free internet down in Punta Cana. Whatever, don't judge me. So anyway, I feel like one of my biggest strengths though going forward, because I just gave you an example of when I did actually take the diamond vacation. Most months though in my business, the first of the month energized me. I wasn't defeated. Whether I didn't make a goal, I didn't start out the month that way. Whether I promoted, I didn't start the month out like I had nothing to do this month, right? And I feel like a lot of times people get in their own heads and they play the comparison game or whatnot. So the first of the month is it's just a huge distraction, whether it's good or bad, right? Like whether you've promoted or whether you didn't meet your goal, you have certain emotions on the first of the month, and it carries you through commissions posting. Then commissions post, right? And maybe you're really excited, or maybe you are feeling like it should be more. So then you might start to work. Then commissions pay out, and you see everybody posting what It Works is doing for them this month, and you're like, all right, I'm promoting this month. I want that. And then you get back to work for the last two weeks of the month. And I can say one of my biggest tips for especially building a presidential is I never took time off. Now that doesn't mean that I sacrificed 24 hours a day for this business, because I didn't. But I was always on. I was always available. So if I was doing something that was, it was not negotiable, then I turned my phone on silent. I didn't have to answer my phone. I didn't have to pick it up and look at it. But for the most part, I was always available. I was posting on social media 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. Like that was just a daily thing. I mean, I definitely see a direct correlation in how you're putting yourself out there on social media and what comes in for your business. Because I just feel like it all ties together, even emotionally. If you're working your business from day one, you never drop a day, then you're never going to lose excitement, right? Because you're constantly going to have people come in. When you check out of your business, then check back in. It's really easy to get discouraged. It's like, well, I've been posting for a couple days and nothing's coming my way. Well, you can't take 15 days off and then post for 2 and expect a little to come your way, right? But if you're posting every single day, chances are you're not going to lose that excitement. That excitement will just continue to burn. It may just stay the same. It may stay steady for a little bit, or it might escalate. But chances are you're not going to lose that excitement, right? So I would definitely say building to presidential, that was my biggest strong suit, was I never took a day out or day off. Like I just never did. And some people think that's too extreme, but what you think I mean by that is probably not correct either. Now, if I had an appointment, if I wanted to have dinner with at the time my husband, because I didn't have kids before presidential, but shut up, John. I cooked you dinner. So anyway. Yeah. Stop. Yeah, Bailey. So, if I wanted to do something, I did it, right? But what the beauty in life, though, it wasn't just like those things. I didn't give up my non-negotiables, right? I didn't just say, John, here's your divorce papers until indefinitely when I'm not a network distributor anymore. Like, no, I did all the things that I needed to do, that I was still doing. I was present, but I found time to work my business in when no one else was looking. Like, I would watch a movie with John on the couch and I'd be like, yeah, sure, I want to watch that stupid movie. Yeah, sure. Like, let's watch it 3 times. And he'd be over there giggling like a little kid and I'd be like on my phone, right? Like, sure, he doesn't know what I'm doing, so what does he care if I'm watching or not? He just cares that I'm in the same room as him, right? Like, so I mean, I use those examples because if you really want to find a way for this business to work, it just happens. Like, I know when I'm on my A game with this business now, no one has to tell me to post. I'm not even looking at other people's posts for inspiration because I'm so excited and energized. It's like I already have enough of my own exciting ideas in my head. I don't have time to go look at anybody else's. I rarely take somebody else's posts as my own. And I used to take them all the time. I would say there's a 2-year period of my business. I would say probably from middle of 14 to middle of 16, maybe even creeping into 17, that I looked for everybody else to do my work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked to see what posts I could copy. I looked to see like what everybody else was doing so I could do the same thing. I just got very lazy in my business. And I know I talk about this sometimes with people, and I say last summer, I just had to give my own kick in the butt. I needed a kick in the pants last summer, and I gave it to myself. And I just said, enough's enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm looking for everybody else to say something and do something, I'm then going to constantly be thinking, if I do the same thing, that automatically means success. If I take someone's post that got 40 likes and 16 comments and I post it, I'm just going to sit there waiting for the same results. And none may come in, right? Because it's just not, it doesn't work that way. So I had to stop playing the compare game and stop playing I'm going to go take everybody else's stuff on social media. Because it wasn't making me, evolve in this business. It was making me stagnant. I wasn't using the products. Like, it really just did have so many different effects on my business. So last summer I gave myself the kick in the pants I needed, and I started using the products faithfully again. And honestly, like, my business transformed at the end of last summer, and I'm talking my personal business. So besides last month, there's not been a month that I haven't signed, 20 to 50 loyal customers per month. And that's all me posting on social media. I wasn't doing anything extra. Like, I have done some host-to posts that did work for me, but not every host-to post works for me. So I'd say maybe like 5 were successful with, 2 to 3 customers in that 6-month period, 7-month period. But for the most part, it was just me being borderline obnoxious with how much I loved our products myself, right? Like, my own results, the way I was feeling myself. So that's really transformed my business since last summer.
Can I just touch on one thing that you said that I just want to make sure? I don't want someone to think like I have to be so excited all the time to work this business, because I understand when you're pushing for promotion and whatnot, like, you are excited, like, you're fired up, but you're going to hit times in this business that might be a struggle. And when you hit those times in this business, like, honestly, like, after I pushed for Diamond, I hit a bit of a funk. And I didn't know what to do. And that was probably my first big funk in the business. So I really had to figure it out on my own. And not to sound like corny or whatever, but I had to come to Jesus with myself. And I was like, you're not having fun anymore. You're being so commercial. You're just not having fun. Change it up, shift it up, start having fun. What do you need to do? So for me, I had to analyze this all in my head. And whether I talk to uplines or sidelines or whatever, of course, I never vented to my downline because that's never a good thing. But you're going to have times in this business where you're not excited or you're frustrated or whatever. You have to get in your mind, in your head, and you have to figure it out. That's why this is not an easy business, because you're going to hit those slumps and you have to figure it out. You don't have to figure it out on your own. You can talk to your upline, sidelines, whatever, but you are going to have hurdles. You're going to have frustrations and stuff like that. But for me, I didn't know what to do, and I realized I wasn't having fun, and I realized I should be having fun. So Megan knows very well what I did. And I started doing silly videos and making protein shakes with them and putting on a mullet. And Megan, Tessa, and I, and Rachel, we did all these things together. You know what I mean? We had fun, and we found that again. And my business took off. I was getting messages constantly. Oh my God, you are so funny. What are those things that you put in your shake that give you the energy and are your daily intake of fruits and veggies? You know what I mean? Like, people were messaging me because my videos were getting out there. Was it easy? No. I talked like a crazy person, but I had fun with it, and all of us had fun with it. So I just want to put that out there. Like, don't feel like you have to be excited every single day. And if you're not, what's wrong with you? So just want to put that out there. But when you are pushing for promotions, it's like absolutely 100%. Like, you're pretty much balls to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I didn't come across as you need to be excited every day, because I certainly haven't been always excited, and that's going to be normal. But I think what makes you ready for that next level, whether it be in leadership or just whatever your goals are in this business, it's usually, you know, a one level up type situation. I think what makes you ready for that is how you get in your own head, like Danielle said, and come out of it. At the end of the day, do you want this business to work? Because if you do, the sooner that you figure out what's holding you back or what's maybe keeping you steady, and the sooner you figure out why, when something in this business upsets you or frustrates you, why your immediate reaction isn't to go to work and to put action behind it. It's just to sit there and stew about it. When you figure that out, you're going to do major things for your business. For me, like, I don't like to sit and stew on things for too long. I like to address it and get it over with and move forward, because that's not conducive to productivity for me.
Absolutely. Okay, next part. I know that from the beginning you really were like rocking the parties, and then you've always been working social media, but I feel like there was a shift in your business, 3-4 years ago maybe, where you really were pushing social media even more. And then when live videos started coming out, you realized that it was so important to go live and yada yada. Can you talk about your business and working social media with the live videos and building your network and stuff?
So building my network is absolutely crucial, and I think just mandatory at this point.
Can you say that one more time, please? Please repeat.
What did I say?
Stress how important it is to build.
Growing your market is literally crucial for me, and something I do every single day. I feel like I've done it for so long and so much now. John, what? I need you to just explain what you're thinking right now, because I need you to stop looking at me.
Hi, John. Sorry. He's chuckling. He's like,
He has a thing for girls and glasses.
Oh, rare. Get it, John.
So I guess everybody knows. What I'll be doing after.
Oh my God. All right, focus, Meg. Continue.
Anyway, So anyway, building my market has been something that's been so important to me. I feel like I do it so much and so every day that I push the limits. Like, I don't even know what the limits are. Because there's some days I'm adding like 50 or 70 people and Facebook does not put me in jail. So I feel like I've done a good job because I'm consistent on expanding my market. So I expand my network in a few different ways. I set notifications on for the top groups from this seems to be the kind of people that I like. I'm sure not everybody is in that group are my cup of tea, but people that I'm drawn to because of their posts on my newsfeed and stuff, I'll set notifications on for those groups. I browse groups a lot throughout the day and comment on posts and just see, I think I've probably added 1,000 friends in the last 6 to 8 months. Like, I literally am like crazy when it comes to adding friends. But a lot of my customers and a lot of my contacts now, when I post a picture of my kids or something that just anybody will like, a lot of my new friends are now liking them, and it's easy to tell who they are because when I search through them, John. when I search through them, it'll say 1 mutual friend, 2 mutual friends. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of weed them out as to people who may be newer into my circle. And I'm liking, because I'm seeing more and more of that. But I definitely think, you know, and it just makes sense from what it is. I mean, if you want new people to constantly be joining your business and signing up as customers and using the products, you have to be engaging with them. So I need to get better at like engaging with them on their social media. Like that's something that I'm working on right now. But I'm really big on expanding my network, excuse me.
I feel like there's always something to be working on. Like for me, you know, I lose people all the time. Like, and I feel like we probably both do. Like I'm adding people from my mom's group like dumb. And then I feel like I'm losing them. And I'm like, I want to interact with them. I want to, you know what I mean? So printing out Facebook friend list and then finding those people and making sure that they're seeing your stuff. I feel like I'm right there with you with my business.
And as for live videos, I feel like I don't love live videos. Like I'm not even going to lie. I don't love live videos. I feel like I do better either something planned out, right? So I can I'll say like last night, I'm going to start going live in meal prepping. That's something that I thought about doing for a little bit. I'm just going to do it because I'm going to meal prep for us, you know, not all the meals, but just some things in batches for us. So I'm thinking I'm going to go live and meal prep and post grocery lists before. So if people want to do it with me while we're live.
I like it.
So that's something I'm thinking about starting soon. I was supposed to start yesterday, but that just didn't happen anyway. Or I work really well, just totally impromptu, like something really funny is about to happen and I need to go live for it. So, but you know what? I think it's better just to constantly evolve too. Like, you know, for me, I'm not the best at, you know, going live and talking about the business. Like who else can relate to that? You know? So for me, that tells me I need to do it more, right? I need to do it more so I get better at it.
I feel like Megan is really good. I feel like I'm talking about you in the third person. I feel like Megan is really good about branding herself. So she is that girl that goes live and she's got 2 kids that are absolutely hilarious. And it's just, sometimes it's a hot mess and she doesn't even care. And she is funny. You know what I mean? So there's stuff like that. Like, I feel like, you know, guys, I didn't know how to brand myself and what I was doing. When I started doing those videos, I started to kind of fall into it. And then I kind of started to be like, I don't care if I have makeup on. Like, people don't need to see that I wear makeup every day and look good because I took a bunch of pictures last week when I looked really good or whatever it may be. Like, you've got to figure out what works for you. And if you don't have that, like, I'm super funny, funky, whatever, then find what works for you. You know, like, there's a girl on my team loves, oh my God, she's so good at cooking. I'm like, there you go. Run with that. So find what you're good at and brand yourself with that and run with that. So that's one thing that I feel like Megan is so consistent. Every video you watch of her, you see her branding herself. You see that side come out. So
I'm just waiting for Bravo to call.
Shut up. All right, next part. I feel like the next 2 questions are kind of they go hand in hand. So Meg is pretty much a mass enroller when it comes to loyal customers, and she's been blowing it up lately. And the next part I was going to have her talk about was being a product of the product. And honestly, I think those go hand in hand. So I'm just going to kind of let you talk about both of them together and the importance of them.
Yeah, definitely. So I was just talking earlier about how I gave myself a swift kick in the butt last summer and just said, you know, Megan, what are you doing? Like, you know, yeah, you're enrolling your 4 loyal customers, so, you know, whatever, but you're not enrolling much past that. You're not putting much care into your enrollments, whatever. So I decided to give myself a swift kick in the butt, and I got back to the basics. The basics for me are posting consistently on social media and using the products. If I was being honest with myself, at that time, I was not using our products consistently. I have absolutely no idea how people are super passionate about this business if they don't find something they're passionate about within the products. Now, I'm not saying you have to use all the products. I do not use all the products. I have like 4 staple products, and I probably have 10 that I've never used before. So I don't feel like you have to use all the products. I don't feel like that's even realistic, right? So I don't mind. It doesn't faze me in the least when people are like, oh, like, can you tell me a little bit about estro rhythm? Like, sure, here are my customers' testimonies, right? But I've never used it because it's not something I need. So last summer I started using the products again. Now this was before Keto Coffee came out, and I knew I wanted to go on a weight loss journey. So I just was like, I'm going to use the shake and the greens and the probiotic. I'm going to use these products that I know can make weight loss a lot easier for me because it gives me these really good meal replacements. And then when Keto Coffee came out, the game changed. And if your game hasn't changed yet because of Keto Coffee, start now. I truly feel it's a 100% business flipper, business changer. Like, I think the first month that Keto Coffee came out, I sold over 2,000 PBV, and I didn't even have a testimony yet because it just came out. But I was so excited about it, and that first week or so that I did get the product was still the same month, and I just blew up social media. I'm like, how can you not want this? Like, how do you not want to try this? Like, I feel like that is what attracts people, because eventually they're like, oh my God, I'm just going to do it. Like, I've got to try this, right? When you slack on that, like I'm currently slacking on building that momentum and building that excitement with my product posts these last couple weeks, what do you know happened? I had my month of lowest enrollments in almost a year last month, and it was because of me losing that steam on social media. So sometimes I feel like people are like, oh, it's so hard. Oh, I just forget, or oh, I'm so busy. But it's so important just to give yourselves those gentle reminders. Like I have to put alarms on my phone sometimes. I'm not shameful about it. Sometimes I just know the day is going to get away from me. And when I know that, I set alarms on my phone. I set 3 of them, and I usually have the post already made up, right? So I just have to post them when the alarm goes off. And I've been doing this really, I think, pretty cool system these last 6 months or so with my follow-ups. Really no name got away from me. If I talked to somebody, they got written down in my planner. And I stopped doing it 2 months ago because, I got busy. Just the same excuse, that you say, that I say, we all say it, right? It's easy to say. And I said, I just got busy, right? So I stopped going to my planner. I broke what was working. You know that saying, like, if it's broke, why fix it? I broke something that was working, right? Because I wasn't doing the same things over and over again. So this month I was like, well, no, I really want to keep my car bonus. I really want to keep my products in customers' hands because there's so many things that come from signing customers. The more customers you sign, the more testimonies that come your way. The more testimonies that you share from your personal customers, you're going to sign more people off that. Almost every single time I post a personal testimony from one of my customers, whether it's a screenshot or whether it's, oh my God, my customer, blah, 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 just messaged me and told me this, or an actual results picture or whatever, every single time I post a testimony that's my personal customer, I sign somebody else. Like it's like a never fail system. So to me, it's just so important to constantly have those testimonies. Can you please get over here and get him, please? To me, it's so important to have those testimonies because that's how people know that you're selling to people and that they like it, right? So I don't know. I just feel like customers are the lifeblood of your business. Like you can sign all the distributors you want. And of course, distributors build your business. So when you're thinking promotions, you have to have them too. But customers is what keeps that volume up. Customers is what keeps, your team growing. Customers, your team's going to see you signing customers, and then they're going to want to go sign those customers too. So I just think, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Oh, so again, it started with being a product of the product. The moment I got back into the business, using the products, and this was before Keto Coffee, because sometimes I think now people think, oh yeah, well, it was just all Keto Coffee. I sell a huge variety of products. Do I sell a lot of Keto Coffee? Yes, I do. But I also sell a lot of other products as well. Like today I signed a customer for the probiotic, the cleanser, and the stretch mark cream. Like nothing to do with keto, but that's cool. Like you get someone on our cleanser or our stretch mark cream, they're never going to come off it. I'm a big pusher of lifestyle products and our skincare, because once they try them, they're just not going to stop. And those are the kind of customers that I like, because I'm big into retention that's just something that I've been focusing on these last 6 months, is not just the hustle to get the customer, but the hustle to keep the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do you have, I said I put on there additional tips, but can you give one tip to everybody that is pushing for Ruby this month? I know there are so many people pushing for Ruby to get that $1,000 bonus. Can you give one tip to all those people that are pushing for Ruby right now?
I think of Ruby, anybody who just doesn't go get Ruby the month they set out to get Ruby, it's a mindset thing. When you think about Ruby, you need to enroll 3 people, and one of those people needs to enroll 2. That, to me, looking back, I don't want to use the word easy, because I don't think anything in this business is necessarily easy. But I think that is 150% doable in a week or in a month. I mean, even if you're someone who doesn't start working until the 15th of the month, because we talked about that already, you can do it in the rest of the month. I feel like that promotion is easy. Okay, I need to stop using that word. It's not easy, but it's very much doable. And I promise it will give you a level of satisfaction in this business that is like nothing that you've had yet. So when you want to succeed in this business and keep growing and keep doing, you need to be hitting smaller goals. Like everybody's always talking about diamond, and diamond's an amazing goal, and everybody should want diamond, honestly, because the pay is just, it explodes once you go diamond. But we can't forget about the smaller milestones. All of us diamonds and above, we were Ruby at some point, right? I went Ruby in 3 weeks. My uplines did not give me one piece of that chart. Not one customer, not one distributor. There wasn't power hours. There weren't trainings. There was literally nothing. I literally survived on my energy, my excitement, and people that I recruited their passion and excitement to. We were a bunch of people who had no idea what we were doing, but you know what? Like, we went out and got it done. So I feel like if you're thinking of Ruby this month and you're already thinking, I can't do it, that is exactly the reason why you are not Ruby. It has nothing to do with what Ruby is and what you need for Ruby. It has everything to do with what is between your 2 ears. So if you're already thinking this month, and only you know that, like, yeah, I want Ruby, but I can't do it. That right there is the only reason why you haven't been Ruby yet. And it's what's in your mind. Because think about it. You could sign one distributor by Friday. They could sign their friend by middle of that following week, and then you could sign 2 more distributors because you're so freaking excited. You just signed one and they signed one. You sign 2 more, and then you give that other girl, like, oh my God, you're going to be executive. Maybe you'll be Ruby next month, whatever. You get the $1,000 bonus, whatever the rules are, and boom, you're Ruby. And now you have 2 weeks to really solidify that volume. So for me, get your distributors. Make a goal for yourself to get your distributors in by the 20th. I mean, that's 16 days away. Totally doable. So work on getting your distributors in by the 20th, or at least 4 out of 5 of them, and then start pounding out that volume. As soon as the 25th hits and you know where everything's kind of landing, you just pound out that volume the last few days, and you can sign 10 cleanses, and that's 300 PBV. You could sign 5 or 6 coffee packs, that's 400 PBV. I mean, when you then start breaking it down into how many people you need to buy you need customers, it's a lot easier, and working together within that team now that you're structuring. But if right now you're not sitting there and thinking, I'm freaking going Ruby this month, and there's no hesitation in your mind, if that's you, then you're going to get Ruby. You are ready for Ruby. You just need to now follow everything that you think in your mind up with action. If you're sitting back thinking, yeah, I really want Ruby, but I haven't been able to get to Ruby, and all my team quit, and whatever else you might be saying, then you're not ready for Ruby. Because Ruby comes with much more pay, and it comes and make you hungry for much, much more. And we do need to be hungry in order to get to those next ranks. So if you're thinking for a second you can't do it, then you're not going to do it.
I love that. I feel like we don't say that enough. I feel like we don't say it's your mindset enough, and it so is. So I'm glad you said that.
And the one last thing I do want to say is I think bonuses are freaking amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't care if there's a Ruby bonus. I don't care if there's a bonus out on the table for any of these ranks. You should just want to be promoting, and you should be wanting more anyway. I mean, the compensation plan is freaking amazing. And if you really understood how much money you can make diamond and above, you wouldn't be waiting that long to get there. You'd be getting to diamond and above. Mm-hmm. So definitely bonus or not, any stage of the game with anybody involved in the business, just get to Ruby. Don't you want more money anyway? Don't you want more people on your team? Don't you want, all the things that come with having to build to that rank? So let's just do it.
Let's get it done. All right. Well, you rock. I love you. I can't wait to see you when I come home. And hang on. Well, let me stop recording.